Welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into global financial news. Buckle up because we've got a lot to cover, from drones to crypto gaming and everything in between.
It's definitely a dynamic landscape right now.
Let's jump right in. BC.GAME, a major player in crypto casinos and sports betting, is celebrating its anniversary in a big way.
Yeah, they're really pulling out all the stops for this one.
Their Captain Alara Returns event. It's a month-long extravaganza with daily deposit bonuses.
Over $150,000 in bounty prizes.
Free sports bets.
And the grand prize, a chance to win a Porsche.
A Porsche, that's quite the incentive.
The crypto gaming sector is booming. Companies are really stepping up their game, literally. I think this is a really interesting case study in attracting and retaining users.
Now, for a story that hits a little closer to home, we go to New Jersey, where some unusual activity has been sparking concerns about national security. Unidentified drones, some described as large as cars, have been sighted near military bases.
This is developing rapidly.
Congressman Jeff Van Drew has suggested a possible connection to Iran.
But the Pentagon is denying any foreign involvement so far.
But they're also not offering any alternative explanations.
This is definitely raising eyebrows.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions swirling around.
It highlights the growing vulnerability of our airspace.
Yeah.
And the challenge of identifying, which drones are benign and which pose a potential threat.
All right, let's shift gears to the fitness tracker market. It's exploding right now. SkyQuest projects it'll reach nearly $68 billion by 2031.
Wow, that's a staggering number.
Right?
Rising healthcare costs are definitely a factor here, and increased awareness about preventative health.
No, and the integration of advanced features like glucose monitoring.
Absolutely. These devices are really empowering people to take control of their health.
Okay, now let's talk about another booming market.
Global recycled plastics.
Yeah.
Projected to reach over $81 billion by 2031.
Wow.
The demand for sustainable products is skyrocketing.
And a lot of government initiatives are promoting recycled content now.
You see more and more industries using recycled materials like construction and textiles.
It seems like we're finally starting to move towards a circular economy.
I think so.
Okay, let's dive into the world of e-commerce.
All right.
Jingo, a new online marketplace, is making a pretty bold claim. They're saying they're going to revolutionize online shopping.
How so?
With personalized experiences tailored to individual tastes.
Sounds ambitious.
And they're so confident, they've launched a referral program with a grand prize of $50,000 in shopping credits.
$50,000. That's a lot of shopping.
It really is.
Definitely a sign of how much AI is changing things.
Now let's talk about art. The Canadian government is investing nearly $68,000 in the Friends United Foundation.
Okay.
It's an organization dedicated to empowering Indigenous artists.
That's wonderful.
This funding will support a plan to help Indigenous artists sell their work nationally and internationally.
I love that. It's a great example of how government initiatives can promote cultural expression and support economic growth.
Absolutely. And speaking of growth, let's turn our attention to the stock music market.
It's on fire.
Projected to grow by over $650 million between 2024 and 2028.
Wow.
Why? Well, the demand for high-quality, authentic music.
It's just exploding.
Yeah, across so many different sectors. TV, film, advertising, gaming, you name it.
I think it speaks to the power of music, its ability to create truly immersive experiences.
Okay, next up we've got a story about a cool collaboration in the automotive industry.
Oh, this should be good.
RHM Semiconductor and Telegibs. They're teaming up to create cutting-edge power solutions for, get this, next-generation automotive cockpits.
So like even more high-tech dashboards.
Exactly. Systems that will support multiple high-resolution displays.
Advanced driver assistance features.
And even increased processing power demands.
All while keeping things efficient and reliable.
It's impressive how fast technology is advancing, even in cars.
It really is.
Meanwhile, in Canada, efforts are underway to bridge the digital divide.
It's so important.
The CRTC is implementing some key improvements to its broadband fund. They're really pushing to accelerate the connection of Canadians to high-speed internet and cell phone service.
Especially for rural and Indigenous communities.
Exactly. Access to these services is essential now. It's not a luxury anymore.
It's a necessity.
Now, let's shift gears to the trucking industry.
Okay.
Wabash, a leading manufacturer of transportation equipment, is rolling out its 2026 model year DuraPlate dry van trailer.
I'm curious about this one.
It's all about boosting performance,
Okay.
safety,
All right.
and cost effectiveness.
Makes sense.
A key innovation. The Web Vortex drum with wear indicator.
What's that?
It's a braking system.
Okay.
They're projecting it to extend brake life by 25% and provide real-time monitoring for maintenance.
Well, it'll save money and make things safer.
Exactly.
I like it.
Now let's talk about some groundbreaking research in the field of sleep and epilepsy. Beacon Biosignals, a pioneer in at-home EEG technology, is presenting some really interesting findings at the American Epilepsy Society annual meeting.
Interesting.
They've done studies in collaboration with Longboard Pharmaceuticals and UCB looking at sleep disturbances in individuals with Lennox-Gastaut syndrome.
LGS and your caregivers. That's a tough one.
Right. The study shed light on the impact of this syndrome on sleep, both for those with LGS and those caring for them.
This is a big deal. I mean, this kind of research could lead to better diagnostic tools and more effective treatments.
Absolutely. And finally, we have Boundless Bio. It's a clinical stage oncology company. They're shifting their focus to their lead program,
Which is?
BBI-355.
Never heard of it.
It's a CHK1 inhibitor targeting replication stress in oncogene-amplified cancers. They're also advancing their third ECDTX program.
All right.
That one's targeting a novel kinesin involved in 8 DNA segregation.
Sounds promising.
They expect to have a development candidate by mid-2025.
It's always interesting to see how these companies prioritize their research. It speaks volumes about what they believe has the highest potential to actually benefit patients.
It does.
This is just a snapshot of all the amazing work happening in the field of cancer research right now. The landscape is constantly changing, constantly evolving.
Well, that wraps up the first segment of our deep dive into global financial news.
We've got a lot more ground to cover.
Let's talk about the Michelin Guide. It's expanding its culinary horizons.
Oh, interesting. Where to?
Doha.
Doha.
Yep. The first ever Michelin Guide Doha 2025 has just been released. It's a testament to Doha's rising status as a global dining destination.
So what kind of culinary scene are we talking about in Doha?
Pretty diverse. The guide recommends 33 establishments. 2 restaurants received 1 Michelin star.
Wow, impressive. Which ones?
Jamavar, for its refined Indian cuisine, and Idam, by Alain Ducasse, known for its unique blend of French and Qatari influences.
It's always fascinating to see how the Michelin Guide highlights culinary excellence in emerging markets. What about the Bib Gourmand Award? Any restaurants in Doha make that list?
4, actually. Eisen, Juan, Argan, and Hoppers. They all offer excellent value for money.
It sounds like Doha has a lot to offer food lovers. I'm adding it to my travel list. Speaking of reaching new frontiers, let's circle back to the CRTC's efforts to bridge the digital divide in Canada.
It's a top priority.
It's a critical initiative, ensuring everyone has access to high-speed internet and cell phone service. It's not just about connectivity, it's about opportunity.
The CRTC is focusing on connecting Canadians in rural and Indigenous communities. They're making significant improvements to the broadband fund.
That's encouraging. What kind of improvements are we talking about?
For one, they're providing funding to build skills and support Indigenous-owned networks.
That's crucial, empowering communities to manage their own digital infrastructure.
And they're requiring applicants to engage with Indigenous communities. They need to obtain consent before building any infrastructure on Indigenous lands.
That's a huge step in the right direction. It's about respect, collaboration, and ensuring that these projects benefit everyone. It's about reconciliation in action.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about the Online News Act in Canada. The CRTC has established a mandatory bargaining framework under this act.
Interesting. What does that entail?
It applies when major online platforms and eligible Canadian news organizations negotiate agreements for the use of Canadian news content online.
So ensuring fair compensation for Canadian news publishers.
Exactly. It's about leveling the playing field and supporting quality journalism.
Makes sense. The CRTC is essentially acting as a referee, ensuring that both sides participate fairly.
Right. They're overseeing the process to ensure transparency and accountability.
So how will they measure the effectiveness of this act?
There will be an independent auditor. They'll assess the act's impact using information from both online platforms and news organizations. They'll look at things like the number and value of agreements reached.
So they're tracking the concrete outcomes, not just the intentions.
Exactly. And the auditor will prepare an annual report to assess the effectiveness of the Online News Act.
That's good. Keeping things transparent and holding everyone accountable. It's a step towards creating a more sustainable future for journalism in the digital age.
This deep dive has taken us on quite a journey. We've seen incredible innovations, from drones to life-saving medical technology, and the rise of a global consciousness around sustainability and social impact. It's been a whirlwind of information.
It has. It's remarkable how interconnected these stories are. Technology, finance, social responsibility, they're all intertwined. It's a complex and ever-changing landscape.
What stories have resonated most with you?
I'm particularly struck by the advancements we're seeing in healthcare. The potential to transform lives is immense, and the growing momentum behind the circular economy is truly encouraging. It's a sign that we're starting to prioritize long-term sustainability over short-term gains.
Those are definitely two areas to watch closely. But our exploration isn't over yet. We've got one final story to discuss.
All right, I'm intrigued. What have we got?
It's a story about innovation and celebration. A unique way to ring in the new year. In Denver.
Denver. Okay, I'm listening.
They're doing drone show.
A drone show instead of fireworks.
Exactly. 400 drones. They'll be creating stunning, holiday-themed animations right above the city skyline.
Wow, that's ambitious.
The Mile High Drone Show.
Catchy name.
It's just one of many New Year's Eve events happening in Denver.
So they're going all out.
Fireworks, live music, the works.
It's a great example of how technology can be used to create these really unique and memorable experiences.
It's a perfect way to end our deep dive. A celebration of innovation and human ingenuity. It's amazing to see how these different trends are coming together to shape the financial landscape.
Absolutely. Technology, social responsibility, global trends, they're all intertwined.
We've seen companies adapting to changing consumer preferences.
Right.
And governments working to create a more equitable and connected world.
It's a dynamic landscape.
It is. We've also seen incredible advancements in healthcare.
And the emergence of new technologies that are pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought.
Okay.
Think about the stories that resonated most with you. How might these developments impact your own life, your investments?
It's a great question. I mean, these trends are going to shape our lives in the years to come.
Absolutely. And we've only scratched the surface today. There's always more to explore.
Always.
So stay curious, keep learning, and stay engaged with the forces that are shaping our world.
Until next time.